Hey everyone, Mike and Beth at the cider table, and we are winding down our Summer of Pennsylvania ciders. And today definitely still feels like summer out here in western Pennsylvania.
It's about 93 degrees, something like that. Really hot. Even at 7 o'clock, whatever time it is, it's really hot out here today.
And speaking of western Pennsylvania, all of the ciders that we have enjoyed over the last 2.5 months have been either from central or eastern Pennsylvania.
Right.
So today we are tasting 2 ciders right here from Pittsburgh in western Pennsylvania. One from Arsenal Cider House and one from Threadbare.
Right.
So from Arsenal we're tasting the Goldrush cider, and then from Threadbare their Bouquet de Rosé, their rosé cider.
Correct. So we're going to start off first with the Goldrush from Arsenal. And this is a really interesting cider to be tasting because in May of this year, it actually brought home the Best in Show award at the Great Lakes International Cider and Perry competition, also called Glint Cap, up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a big international cider competition, and Goldrush won for Best Dry Modern Cider. And
congratulations.
It's very awesome. Really cool to have that here from Pittsburgh. So what's
the city of champions, by the way.
Very, very good point. So a modern cider, what's that? It's a cider that's made with typically what we would call dessert apples. So it's not something that's made with heritage apples or traditional cider apples. And this one specifically is made with a apple called Goldrush, which is why it's called the Goldrush cider. So Goldrush is just a single varietal of apple that you can grow at home. We actually have a Goldrush tree back here behind us that we planted this year. Fingers crossed that we'll get something out of that. So anyway, this is just a single varietal cider, only Goldrush apples in this. And again, big gold medal winner for the Goldrush. Let's give it a taste. Very subtle, is that the right word? Understated. So it's not, it doesn't hit you in the face with anything really, until maybe for me the end of it. But is there anything that you're getting up front, or what are your impressions of this?
No, I think I agree. You kind of take a sip and then all of a sudden you get the apple flavor, and I think it's a nice bold apple flavor with a little bit of acid on the end. Yeah,
there's definitely some acid towards the end of it. And when I first tasted this, I told Beth, I said, and it was really cold when we first tasted it. Sometimes that cold masks some of the flavor. I didn't get anything at first, and then at the end it was just this long, lingering sort of green apple flavor. But as it's warming up a little bit, some of those flavors are coming out a little bit ahead of time.
I know it's pitched as a dry cider, but I don't think it's overly dry.
No.
I don't think it's overly sweet either. No. I would say it's kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, and you're not going to get any of those big bold tannins you might get from some of the ciders we've tasted this year, because again, this is a dessert apple. Dessert apples don't carry a lot of tannins usually.
And
so
it's single varietal, so they haven't added anything in to add any tannins.
Exactly, and we can talk about that actually with the next one, which would be kind of interesting. So yeah, a really, really tasty cider. I'm really glad we got to taste this one. Arsenal has 3 or 4 tasting rooms here in Pittsburgh. This was on tap down at their main cider house down in Lawrenceville. So if you're ever in the area and you can find the Goldrush, definitely check it out. Beth, what's the next one we're tasting again?
So the next one is from Threadbare. Again, it's their rosé cider, introduced earlier this year. We just recently went down and had a chat with their cider maker, Brian. And currently this is their best-selling cider that they have.
And I can understand why. It's really just a beautiful cider. Just even when you look at it, the color of it is amazing. And the way they get that color is they use, I think they use just their base dry cider, perhaps maybe a semi-dry cider. I'm not really sure what they use as their base. But what they add to it is rose hips and hibiscus. So when I was talking before about adding those adjuncts in, get you some of those tannins, hibiscus brings some of that to the table, but it just brings this gorgeous color. I mean, it's pink, it looks like a rosé wine. When you smell it, to me it hits you with berries, which I guess comes from that combination of those adjuncts they put in there. It smells so good. I could just smell this all day.
I love this cider, I will be honest, and this is one of my favorites that I've tasted. It's not overly sweet. I think some rosés that we've had are on the sweeter side.
Yeah.
This one is a little drier.
Yeah, it does bring some of that balance, some acid, some of that tannin from the hibiscus. By the way, sorry, we keep getting hit with these airplanes that fly overhead sometimes when we're sitting out here on a flight path. So sorry about that if that messed up with the words of wisdom Beth was bringing to you. Yeah, so it certainly has a little bit of a dryness to it. It's not cloying in any sort of way. It's just really, it's beautiful. It's delicious. It smells so good. It just smells so good. Anything else you want to say about this one?
If you find yourself in Pittsburgh, definitely also check out Threadbare for their rosé cider, along with their whole
their whole lineup. They've got some really cool ciders. They have some new ones coming too. I think we're going to be doing some tastings of those pretty soon. Really excited about a fall spice cider that they're putting out, and they have just a whole bunch of ciders that we really enjoy. And speaking of, if you're ever around Pittsburgh, if you ever find yourself here in Pittsburgh, you know, shoot us a message. We would love to meet up with you to
go to Arsenal,
go to Threadbare, not too far apart from each other. You can definitely hit both of them in a day. We'd love to sample some ciders with you, talk to you about the startings of what we hope is a great burgeoning cider scene here in Pittsburgh.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that wraps up the Summer of Pennsylvania Cider. Next week we are going to do a wrap-up of what we tasted. Also, we have a little treat, another cider from Western Pennsylvania that we will showcase. And check out all the videos, all the reviews from Summer of Pennsylvania Cider on YouTube. And as always, check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.